Well, let's catch up on a very full week in British and Euro markets now. I'm joined by our man in London, David Buik from BGC Partners. David, welcome.
Hello there to you, Tiki.
Well, I began this week thinking that Europe probably wasn't going to make it intact all the way through the week. Silly me, obviously. And Angela Merkel went on holiday for a week anyway, didn't she?
Well, she did, but I think a couple of things are very interesting. I mean, I think Herbert von Karajan would be very proud of Angela Merkel, the way that she's orchestrated the whole of the European system, much to the significant frustration of the rest of Europe. The fact is she's remained as saying that without some kind of fiscal and banking unity, there's no way we're going to give in to any kind of issuance of euro bonds. And in the meantime, we've got to wait until the 12th of September until the ESM agreement is finally signed by all parties. As I understand it, only about 8 have signed it so far. But that may well give the ESM banking status. And I think that's taken the froth of fear off the top of the bond markets, particularly in Spain and Italy, and hence hasn't seen too much disruption to equity markets, of course, excepting those in Spain and Italy.
The pressure's not come off the lid, though, really. I see Jose Barroso, the European Commission President, is off to Athens for, I think, the first time in 3 years today. And today also we've got economists at Citigroup saying they believe there's now a 90% chance of a Grexit, a Greek exit, within the next 18 months, most likely quite a lot sooner.
Well, you weren't even a twinkle in your father's eye 60 years ago when Bing Crosby put out a wonderful song called Now is the Hour When We Must Say Goodbye. And I think that is the case. And we're just prolonging the evil day. So long as night follows day, there's no way that Greece can sustain debt at that level and repay its debt and create growth. And the quicker we realise it, because it's just a tiny percentage of what's going on in Europe, and it would set down our stall that the European Union meant business. So if it's 90%, I'm surprised it's not 100%, because I think as near as you can be, it's a racing certainty.
David, really bad news in Britain this week on growth. I mean, the GDP for the second quarter, that number was minus 0.7%. Some, I think, at the BBC are calling it the worst four-year period outside wartime in a century.
Well, certainly in 50 years, Tiki, that's absolutely right. It was a real shocker. What happened really was much of it was down to a 5.2% reduction in construction in a quarter, which is enormous by normal standards, and industrial production fell by 1.2%. I don't believe that twaddle about weather and, you know, the Jubilee holiday taking the sap out of the whole of the thing. I think we've got some fundamental issues. We cannot stop the austerity programme, nor must we, but we've got to do things that actually stimulate what needs to be required to get the construction industry back, to get housing back. We've got to get some more bank lending out going there. I mean, these Royal Bank of Scotland's and Lloyds's, which are majority owned by the government, just don't ask them to lend money, tell them. And how much it's going to be. We need to cut corporation tax. We need to cut capital gains tax. These raise so little money, but it could well give us the stimulus that we're missing. And also the amount we pay to overseas aid at the moment, and also to green climate. It's ridiculous. That can wait. And if they were to do that, the government very quickly, who knows? Confidence might be restored quite quickly.
The silly season, of course, is upon us, August. Is there a silly season this year? What are traders doing, given how grim the market is, briefly?
I think they're just hanging on for dear life. I mean, thank goodness we owe an awful lot to Apple and to BlackBerry. As everybody goes off on holiday, I doubt 2 minutes will go by without them being referred to get the news. And all the wonderful broadcasting stations that you've got. There's no such thing as a holiday season. People may go with their families away to the sunshine. Believe me, their heart and minds are where they work.
David Buik, thanks again for joining us.
Pleasure.